Death at Rottingdean, Chapter 33. The truth is rarely pure, and never is it simple. Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest. Harry swam out of the blackness, pain hammering like an angry smith at the anvil of his skull. He was face down, his arms pulled tight behind him, felt as if they had been wrenched out of their sockets, and his wrists and ankles were bound with fire. His nose was stopped with dirt, his mouth stuffed with a wad of cloth, and he could scarcely breathe. Under the roaring that filled his ears, he thought he heard voices. He did not open his eyes. If they were going to kill him, let them get it over and done with. He did not want to see the gun. "Todwell!" Someone shook him roughly, rolled him over on his back, towed him with a boot. "Todwell!" Hands yanked the wad of cloth out of his mouth. A torrent of icy water spilled across his face. He choked and gasped, and his eyes popped wide open. Two faces and a lantern loomed over him out of the dark. He's coming around," Rudyard Kipling said briskly. "Come on, Harry, time to wake up." "Snap out of it, man," said a deeper voice. It was the toff with the fancy hat and the creased trousers, except now he wore a canvas jacket and a pair of old tweeds. He did not look quite so toughish somehow. "We want you to tell us what's going on." Harry closed his eyes, trying giddily to sort through the dire misadventures that had befallen him. It was true that he had been deceived and double-crossed, but that was all in the line of work, so to speak, all part of the game. Betraying his betrayers to an outsider, to a representative of the crown, that was a far darker dishonor than any that had been done to him. He could not bring himself to it. He opened his eyes. In the sky above, lightning flickered. A cold wind was blowing, bringing with it the first spits of rain. "I took a fall," he muttered. "And tied and gagged yourself into the bargain," Kipling sounded half amused. "Quite a trick." Come, Harry," Lord Sheridan said sharply. "We've been watching. We saw what your two compatriots did to you, and we know it is part of a plan. We want to know what they're aiming to do." Harry was sullenly silent. Lord Sheridan sighed. "Look here, Todwell. There is more to this than you know. These investors you believe to be backing your enterprise, they are not what you think them to be. In fact, if I am correct, there are no investors. You have been deceived, Harry." His voice dripped scorn. "You've been a fool." "No investors?" Harry asked startled. "But then where did the money—" He clammed his mouth shut. They couldn't goad him into speech. "You'll get nothing from me," he said. Sheridan knelt down beside him, and his voice became suddenly hard. "You have been organizing the villagers to smuggle goods into this country, under the direction of Captain Reynolds Smith, recently deceased. If you will give us information that will help us apprehend his murderer, the Crown may deal more leniently with you when you are brought to justice." He paused, spacing his next words, giving them extra weight. "If you do not cooperate in this matter, you will be tried as an accomplice to the captain's murder. Now, who is the killer?" Harry shuddered at the sinister vision. The investor's representative rose up before his eyes. Name him, and things might go easier. But he had no name to offer, and no hard proof that the man had anything to do with Fox's death. If he accused him and the Crown failed to gain a conviction, Harry knew full well what would become of him. "I don't know who killed Foxy," he growled, turning his face aside. "I got nothing to tell you." Sheridan grabbed his chin and roughly pulled his head back, staring at him with narrow eyes when he spoke. His words were slashing. "What has been done with the boy?" The question shook Harry. "The boy? Paddy, I mean." "Yes, Paddy," Kipling said grimly. "Where is he?" "How the devil should I know?" Harry swallowed, trying to pull his head free. "He's a boy. Boys go off. Anyway, that one's too smart to get himself into trouble. He's an imp, he is." Sheridan's eyes were like flint and his grip like a vice. "The boy disappeared early this afternoon on a picnic in the Downs with Lady Sheridan and Lady Burne-Jones. We believe he was kidnapped by the man who is behind all of this, the same man who visited you yesterday in the disguise of an antiquarian." Harry stared. You know about that?" "Damn! What didn't they know?" "This man has more than one identity," Sheridan said, "and the boy is the only one who can put them together. That is why he was taken." He shook Harry's chin. "Come on, Todwell, tell us what you know. If the man killed Patrick, his blood will be on your hands." Harry grimaced. Paddy was far more useful than the other village boys he occasionally employed to deliver coded messages. The boy saw everything and remembered everything he saw. He used his considerable intelligence, his curiosity, and his intuition. He was loyal, and he was, as far as Harry could tell, without fear. That's why he was so valuable. But there was something else, and in that moment Harry brought himself to acknowledge it. He was fond of Paddy, very fond of him indeed. Since his wife had gone off to live in the baker's brick house, Paddy had become very close to him, almost like a son. Harry thought of the hours spent among the downs, riding, exploring, shooting, and he made up his mind. "All right," he said. "What do you need to know?" Sheridan's grip relaxed. "The foreign gentleman who visited you yesterday afternoon. Tell us what you know of him." "Never met him before yesterday," Harry said, working his lower jaw. "Before that, he only dealt with Foxy." "How long did he deal with Foxy?" "A couple of years. He's the one who paid for the tunnels." "Yes, the tunnels," Sheridan said. "The new excavations are far more extensive than one might expect given the small amount of goods you're bringing in. Why?" Harry would have shrugged had he been able. "It wasn't my business to ask why," he said. "It was my business to see that the work got done and the men got paid. The money came in handy, I tell you. There ain't much other work around here now." He paused suspiciously. "What's the tunnel work got to do with the boy?" Sheridan persisted. "The man who paid you to enlarge the tunnels, did he also hire you to bring in the guns?" Harry shook his head from side to side. "I told you this morning, I know nothing about guns." "Paddy took us into the tunnels last night," Kipling said severely. "We found a box of blasting caps and a case of pistols, a new type, the same type that killed Captain Smith. We think you're running guns, Tutwell. Who are they for? The Irish?" "The Irish? Running guns?" Harry jerked his head. "I don't know nothing about any guns," he repeated vehemently. "And if I don't, nobody else in the village does neither. All we do is unload tons and crates and boxes off the ships and carry them into the tunnels. Then we send the stuff on its way quick as we can. Not all of it," he added hastily. "Some of it stays here for the shops. Most of it goes out, though." Sheridan's eyes were narrowed, his mouth grim as death. "Do you want to know what I think, Tutwell? I think your village has been had. You're the victims of a grand deception." "Been had?" Harry demanded angrily. "Deception? What the devil you mean?" "The tunnels you were paid to dig," Sheridan said. "The smuggling you've been paid to do. It's all a concealment for something else. Something much larger and of much greater consequence." He turned to Kipling. "And it's not gun running either." "Something larger." Harry frowned, remembering the man's words. "Your advancement, Mr. Tutwell, is more of consequence than you can know, and the game is larger than you can think." What had he meant? What did any of this have to do with Paddy's disappearance? Where was the boy? What has the man done with him? And where, in all this bloody mess, was the bloody truth? Kipling was shaking his head. "But if it's not gun running, what can it be, Sheridan? What sort of organization would put this much money and effort into—" "You said it yourself, Kipling." Sheridan's voice vibrated with a tense excitement. "As an investment, the smuggling makes no economic sense at all. Except for the villagers, nobody is going to profit financially, no matter how many shiploads of merchandise they bring in here. But what if the smuggling is a cover-up for something larger and far more sinister? What if a foreign government wants a free port on the south coast of England and they're willing to buy a village to get it?" Harry felt as if he had suddenly stepped into a pit of quicksand. "To buy a village," he whispered. "Wait a minute," Kipling said. "I don't understand. A free port? You're talking about a duty-free port." "I'm talking about a port that can be entered without anyone's knowledge or control," Sheridan replied. "Say that one of the great continental powers, the Kaiser's government, for instance, wants to infiltrate men and arms into this country. What better strategy might it devise than to embroil an entire village in its scheme? And what better village than one with a proud heritage of smuggling?" Harry felt himself go cold. "You're talking about the Germans," he whispered disbelievingly. "You're saying we've been dealing with the bloody Germans." Kipling's eyes were bright. 2 spots of red showed on his cheeks. "By Jove!" he exclaimed. "It's too incredible for words, but yes, it fits. Willie isn't running guns, he's planning a bloody invasion."